Finally, GangstaPranksta is back doing his weekly wrestling reviews. Welcome back, guys. Some more weekly wrestling reviews. I know it's been a while. It's been way too long. I really slacked off and waited till the last minute, and then I got busy from that, and then it just snowballed effect until I got so behind that I'm like 3 weeks behind on my weekly wrestling reviews. So I'm going to try and get this video out and then the next one out immediately. I always say that and then it just falls apart. I'm going to try and keep to my word this time. So I apologize for that. So let's start with the regular intro. Welcome to the weekly wrestling review. I actually don't even remember my fucking intro. It's been that long. Hold on, I think I remember. This is the weekly wrestling review. Well, I don't even know. Whatever. We got reviews for RAW, Smackdown, Impact, NXT, Ring of Honor. We got 2 pay-per-view reviews, Ring of Honor Border Wars, and TNA's another one-night-only Joker Tag Team Tournament. And, yeah, so that's going to be for the past 2 weeks. I'm going to have the next one, which will be last week's reviews, up either Thursday or Friday. Probably Friday, to just being honest, but yeah, so let's, and a bunch of wrestling news, because yeah, we missed a lot. So let's jump right into it, because there's a lot to talk about. There honestly is. So first we'll start with Raw from like 3 weeks ago. This is the first thing that we'll be talking about, is Raw from April 29th. Okay. It's almost been a month. Not yet, but it's really close. This show, what happened? There was it started out with it didn't start out with John Cena. It started out with Biggie Langston, Zeb Colter, and Ricardo Rodriguez in a 3-way. That was just whatever. But I'm just gonna talk about like the highlights, the lowlights, what I like, what I didn't like, just so we can speed this process up instead of me going through over everything. First thing I want to talk about, John Cena came out, and you know, he does a lot of Make-A-Wish stuff, and on Raw, he granted 3 kids a wish, and it was just an awesome moment for Cena and these kids who have, you know, some terminal illness, and, you know, for one night they got to be WWE superstars, and Cena made them feel like awesome, and it was just a really good moment. You know, even all the people that hate it, even if you hate Cena, you gotta respect him for doing something like this. So that was an awesome moment for John Cena, who's not doing too great right now. You know, he just injured his foot of some sort. I think it's an Achilles injury. You know, he's doing full tours, granting Make-A-Wishes, still wrestling, all with an injured foot. The guy can barely walk. And then he's got to go to Extreme Rules, and I think his match against Ryback is an I Quit match? It's a last man standing match or something like that. I don't even know. We're not really going to talk about Extreme Rules. That'll be next week's reviews. But John Cena is a fucking machine, so props to him. What else do we got? What else do we got on Raw? Oh, Mark Henry had a tug-of-war. This is pretty blah. Oh, Del Rio announced... Okay, so the beginning match, Biggie Langston, Zeb Colter, Ricardo Rodriguez. The winner of their respective representative got to pick the stipulation at Extreme Rules. So Ricardo won. So Del Rio announced that he's going to be a ladder match at Extreme Rules, 3-way ladder match, but that match isn't going to happen because Dolph Ziggler is injured, and we're going to talk about all this stuff, people being injured, people being away, taking some time off, aka Punk and Undertaker, and just a lot of people missing. You know, it's a dire time for WWE right now. Another thing I want to talk about, Fandango vs. Great Khali in a dance-off. This was terrible, but I want to talk about Khali for a second. He's been pretty awesome. Like, he had a segment on the next week's Raw. So they're doing this whole Caitlyn admirer thing. And I think it could be Cody Rhodes because, you know, they kind of teased something with that weeks prior and then they completely dropped it. So maybe, you know, Cody's too chicken to talk to Caitlyn, so he's doing this secret admirer shit. So that could be it. There's rumors that it's like AJ or like the Bellas or some shit. It could also be like Natalia. I was gonna say Natalie. Natalia, I mean, you know, she's kind of cozy with Caitlyn right now. Maybe it's just a backstabber to get a Divas title match. It could be Layla, because a couple months ago they were kind of teasing Layla turning heel with her like staring at the Divas title and just kind of acting like, you know, putting the little seed, planting the seeds for her to potentially turn into a heel. So it could be one of them. I'm probably gonna go with Cody Rhodes on that though, because just all the stuff they did prior. Unless they're like, hey, you know what, we're gonna do this and then we're gonna drop it completely. So that might have been it. So yeah, this dance off was terrible. But Kali, actually we'll talk about it on the next Raw, whatever. And the main event was John Cena and Team Hell No taking on the Shield. Good match. Shield wins. Next we got NXT. Solid main event. Jericho versus Bray Wyatt. That was a good match. It was a pretty good episode of NXT. You had Paige, Summer Rae. That was a pretty good match. Paige won. And the first match was Epico and Primo versus the Wyatt family versus Bo Dallas and Adrian Neville. Good match. Wyatt family wins. Kind of random having Epico and Primo in there because, you know, Adrian Neville and Wyatt family have kind of had their differences. Well, they're feuding because they took out Oliver Gray. And then, you know, Bo Dallas and Bray Wyatt are kind of going at it. And it was just random to add Epico and Primo to this. But whatever. Next we got Impact. This was the episode where Chris Sabin made his debut. Great to see Chris Sabin back in wrestling. I really missed him. I missed the Motor City Machine Guns a lot, but I really thought, like, before they were a tag team, I really liked Chris Sabin as an X Division wrestler, and I'm glad to see him back. He's greatly missed. I love like TNA bringing back all these originals. You know, you got AJ Styles is back after, you know, doing whatever. Abyss is back. We'll talk about that more on the next Impact. Chris Sabin's back. Suicide's back, even though I'm not really excited for that. You know, he's not really an original, but, you know, whatever. So definitely great to see Chris Sabin back. He had a match against Zema Ion and Sanjay Dutt. It was a pretty good match. Sabin won, of course. What else do we got? Oh, D'Lo Brown versus Kurt Angle in an I Quit match. That was a pretty good match. Angle wins after the match. Oh, so this was pretty much just D'Lo Brown trying to prove himself to Aces and Eights. He ends up losing, and they kind of... He's a part of the Aces and Eights, but they're kind of just like treating him like shit, so whatever. And the main event was Matt Morgan versus Sting. This is just an okay match. Sting wins, so he'll face Bully Ray at Slammiversary. Whatever. Next we got SmackDown. Ryback and Daniel Bryan, they had a match to start out SmackDown. They had a good match. I really enjoyed this opener. What else do we got? Orton versus Damien Sandow. They had like a match every fucking week. Oh, they didn't have it on that Raw. That Raw was Randy Orton versus Cody, but they had it on SmackDown, and then they had it on Raw, and I think they had it on SmackDown again. It was just crazy. And they do that with Orton sometimes. Like, first it was Wade Barrett. He would wrestle him on Raw, SmackDown, like 4 weeks straight. And then it was Antonio Cesaro, and now it's Damien Sandow. Whenever Orton faces somebody, he just works him every fucking week for like 2 weeks straight. Every show, like, Raw, SmackDown, and then Raw, SmackDown again. It's really annoying. Like, give them some other people to face. But they had some good matches. And the main event was Dean Ambrose versus Kane. That was a pretty good match. Ambrose wins. Next we got Ring of Honor. Anything really big to talk about? Not really. It was just more building up towards Borderlands, which we are going to talk to in just a second. But first, we got TNA's Joker Wild Card, another one of their one night only special pay-per-view things that they're doing I think it's every month. I don't know when the next one is. I think it's July. But the first one they had was what's it fucking called? The X Division one, Extravaganza. That was a solid card. I really enjoyed watching that. So I had some high expectations going into this, especially since I love tag team wrestling, and And this show sucked. Like, to be honest, it was a terrible fucking show. You had matches that sucked. It just felt like a really long Impact. And it was definitely a pass. Like, don't watch this show. It was such a waste of time. You had James Storm and so that what they did is they had all these names in a random thing. They drew them. You get to be random teammates. Winner of those matches go into a gauntlet in the main event, and the winner of that wins $100,000. So whatever. So first match, James Storm versus Christian York versus Gunner and Crimson. Pretty good match. Storm and York win. Good to see Gunner and Crimson back. They had some chemistry as a team. I would love to see them on Impact. None of them are doing anything. I believe Crimson is in OVW, doing whatever. I don't know what Gunner's doing if he's in OVW as well, but he's not doing anything. So why not make a team out of them? They both big guys, tattoos all over them, pretty similar. And they could just talk about how frustrated they are with TNA and not using them and their huge talents and blah blah blah. Another team for their tag team division, but they don't do it. I was really liking the Kid Cash Gunner tag team, but they shit all over that. So anyways, pretty good match. Storm and York win. Next we got Mr. Anderson and Jesse Goddard versus Doug Williams and Kid Cash. Pretty good match. Jesse and Anderson win. This match just dragged on a lot. To be that was the problem with a lot of these matches. Is it dragged on a lot and it was boring. So that was one of them. Mr. Anderson and Jesse won. Next we got Christopher Daniels and Samoa Joe versus RVD and Chavo. Probably one of the best matches of the night. It was that and the Gauntlet match. Those were like the best matches. Everything else was just pretty good to just blah. So that was a good match. Joe and Daniels win. Next we got Robert Roode and Joseph Park taking on Zima Ion and Robbie E. Pretty good match. I like the little Robbie E Zima thing. You know, they're both doing up their hair. Zima got the hairspray. I don't know what Robbie does his hair up with, but you know, they got that little thing going on. They actually, I didn't talk about the match, but on the Impact that we were talking about earlier, there was a match, Robbie E, Jesse, and Joey Ryan versus Rob Terry. That was a 3-on-1 match. It was blah. It was just for Rob Terry to destroy all of them. And I think Robbie E and Joey Ryan should be a tag team. Like, honestly, they're both sleazeballs. I know they're complete opposites, but I think it could work. I think a tag team between Robbie E and Joey Ryan could work. I really like Robbie E. I think he's entertaining. I'd like to see him more. You know, a team between him and Jesse would work as well. I think that would work out better. Robbie E and Jesse. Just because, you know, they're both like, oh, gotta be in shape. Oh, the hair, the looks, blah, blah, blah. So, that could be good. Well, I don't know. I wish they would do something with Robbie E. Give him the TV title. Like, you're not doing shit with it on Devon. Like, he just holds it. It's a fucking decoration at this point. Like, he doesn't defend it. He doesn't do anything with them. It's just, why do you even have it? Same thing with the Knockouts tag team titles. Pretty fucking irrelevant. Do something with them. We'll get rid of the Knockouts tag team titles. And, Devon should just say, I'm tired of holding this. Throws it in the garbage. Pull a WCW. I think it was Scott Hall in WCW as a TV champion. I don't remember the storyline, but he threw the title in the garbage. Jim Duggan found the title, and he started defending it. He became champion just because, you know, Scott Hall didn't want to be it. And, you know, he started defending it, and he became champion like that. So maybe do something like that with Devon, or, you know, he hasn't defended it in so long, so vacate the title and then crown a new champion. Give it to someone. Like, you got so many guys that aren't doing anything. Robbie E, Joey Ryan, Rob Terry, Matt Morgan, Jesse Goddard, Zima Ion. Well, he's part of the X Division, but just so many guys. Do something with this title. Like, you got so many talented people on your roster, and this would be perfect for them. Anyways, little rant there. Back to the show. So it was a pretty good match. Roode and Park win. Next is where the show has started to dip down. Next we got Hernandez and Alex Silva versus Devon and Doc. Okay match, Devon and Doc win. I have no reason, I don't know why they put Alex Silva on this fucking card. No one gives a shit about him. When he came out for his entrance, he didn't, nothing, silence. You can hear a pin drop. Like, no one cares. I don't know why he was on this card. I'd rather see Sam Shaw. Like, Alex Silva, he's just so boring. Like, you look at him and he's not exciting. He's just very plain. And I think Sam Shaw, he's got a little bit more energy to him. And I think he would have fit better in this than Alex Silva. Whatever, Devon and Doc win. Next, we got Rob Terry and Matt Morgan versus Joey Ryan and Al Snow. Like, Al Snow was just random. They're trying to continue a feud that happened like almost a year ago. Was it a year? No, I think it was at Bound for Glory. It was a while ago. Like, no one remembers. No one gives a shit. Al Snow came out. Same reaction as Alex Silva. No one cared. This match dragged on way too fucking long. And, blah match. Matt Morgan and Rob Terry win. Anyways, we finally got the main event. So, take all the winners. James Storm, Christian York, Mr. Anderson, Jesse Goddard, Samoa Joe Daniels, Robert Roode, Joseph Park, Devon Doc, and Rob Terry and Matt Morgan. All of them were in a gauntlet match. Good match. James Storm won. Just a regular gauntlet match. Nothing too special. And James Storm was the winner of $100,000. So like I said, avoid this show. The next show that they got is Hardcore Justice 2. And, you know, they showed snippets. One thing I don't like about fucking these pay-per-views as well, the intro is basically you're watching highlights of the pay-per-view. Like, it should be whatever, you know. If the X Division pay-per-view, you should have shown like previous X Division matches. You just showed shit that happened on the pay-per-view. Same thing with Joker's Wildcard. You're showing shit that happened on the pay-per-view already. I'm like, I don't watch. Like, why you show me stuff that's gonna happen? I want to watch it and see what happens. I don't want you to show me what fucking happens. And another thing I gotta complain about this fucking pay-per-view as well. The replays, holy shit. It seemed like they were trying to just, like, what's it called? Add so much time. Like, they had so much time to fucking kill. They replayed every match, almost its entirety. Like, I gotta watch the match once, and then I gotta watch a replay, and it's so long, I feel like I'm watching it a second time. Fucking ridiculous. The replays were so fucking long. So anyways, the highlight of they showed a highlight reel of, like, the next pay-per-view. You're gonna have guys like Hardcore Holly on there, Too Cold Scorpio, Team 3D, I think, is coming back, Jeff Hardy, Spike Dudley, LAX is gonna be returning, I think Funaki's on there as well. I'm not sure. The results are somewhere online. You can see all the list of people that are going to be there. Nunzio is going to be the Little Guido, whatever you want to call him. He's going to be there. Judas Macias, that's another one. I can't wait to see Judas Macias and James Mitchell back. That should be pretty awesome to see. So Hardcore Justice 2 looking really awesome. Joker's Wildcard, a complete dud. Avoid this at all costs. That was a long fucking rant about Joker's Wildcard. It was just so shitty. Like, just, oh god, terrible. Next we got ROH Border Wars. Border Wars was a pretty good pay-per-view. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed most of it. Yeah, it was all pretty good. So let's talk about it. First match, Caprice Coleman and Cedric Alexander versus ACH and Tadarius Thomas. Good way to start the show. Fun tag team action. Lots of innovative stuff. Lots of high energy stuff. Just fast-paced action is what I'm trying to say. So good match. Coleman and Alexander win. Next we got Mike Bennett versus Roderick Strong. Originally it was supposed to be a three-way with Mike Mondo, but Mike Mondo's injured again, I believe. So it was just a one-on-one. Good match. Strong wins. Next we got BJ Whitmer versus Red Titus in an I Quit match. It was pretty good, but okay, let me just talk about it. Pretty good match. Whitmer wins after Whitmer was going to hit Steve Corino with a chair, but Rhett quits because he didn't want Steve Corino to get hit with a chair. Kind of a shitty ending, just blah, to be honest. And the one thing I really didn't like about this match, it's an I Quit match. You're supposed to beat the fuck out of your opponent to make them quit. I think the most they did in the match was fucking tied Rhett Titus to the fucking ropes and was going to use a steel chair, but it didn't end up doing it. It could have just been a regular match, and the I Quit stipulation was just not needed. Like, it was, yeah. When I watch an I Quit match, I want to see two people beat the fuck out of each other. They were just using submissions and rest holds to work each other over. It was just boring to watch. So yeah, that was that. Next we got Michael Elgin and Jay Lethal versus Cliff Compton and Jimmy Jacobs. Good match. Scum wins. During the match, Lethal got injured, leaving Elgin by himself. Then later on in the match, Kevin Steen came out and became Elgin's partner instead of Lethal because he was out. And that was an awesome moment in the match. But Scum ended up winning with a roll-up. But it was just cool to see, you know, Kevin Steen and stuff. I would have liked to see Matt Hardy on the pay-per-view because it seems like they were building towards a Matt Hardy, Kevin Steen thing, but I don't think Matt Hardy was there that night, so that's alright. Next we got RD Evans, not RVD. RD Evans and QT Marshall came out and taunted the crowd, said, you know, there should be a tag team title match, but Red Dragon wasn't there. The lights start flickering. And Tommaso Ciampa returns, and this is actually a pretty good return, unlike TNA's Abyss return, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. This was solid. Tommaso came out, makes his return, and took out QT Marshall, so awesome to see Tommaso Ciampa back. I really like his intensity, and yeah, I'm glad to have him back. Next we got one of the matches I was looking forward to is Eddie Edwards versus Taji Ishimura. I don't know how to pronounce his first name, but Tage Ishimura, I think it's how it's pronounced. They had a good match, good back and forth match. They had some good chemistry. They worked very well together, had some really cool spots. Good match. Eddie won. But I talked about this before, how I really like when Ring of Honor brings in, you know, people from Japan. And that's one thing I really like about Ring of Honor, and you know, TNA used to do that with the World X Cup. You know, they'd bring in Team Japan, Team Mexico. You know, they'd have Team TNA, whatever, Team International, and they would do all these cool ass matches, and you get to see people you've never seen before. And you know, TNA stopped doing that, which, you know, now they got Gut Check and they kind of bring in different people, but it'd be awesome if they could do a World X Cup again, bring in some guys from Japan. But I really like Ring of Honor. I wish they would do another show in Japan. They did one before, I forgot what it's called, but they went to Japan and it was pretty much like a Ring of Honor versus Japan type pay-per-view. And that was cool. I wish they'd do that again. TNA did that once. I forgot what the show was called, but I know... Oh, no, I think the main event was Kurt Angle versus Kenta Kobashi. It was Kurt Angle versus somebody, and you guys had AJ Styles, Abyss, Team 3D. It was just cool as shit, and I don't know. I like the international interactions. You know, an American wrestler versus a Japanese wrestler. Just watch the different styles. But we were also supposed to see Davey Richards versus Marufuji. I don't know how to pronounce his first name as well. But Marufuji got injured, and he was replaced by Paul London. We'll talk about that match in like a minute. But next we had Mark Briscoe versus Matt Taven, TV title match. Pretty good match. Taven wins. It was just a pretty good match. Nothing else to say. Next we got Davey Richards versus Paul London. And holy shit, this was a good match. Davey wins. And they had this crazy spot in the ring. I'm going to link it in the description. It's not just the clip, but you will see the clip in the first 20 seconds of the video in the description. Basically, Ring of Honor does this thing, video wire, and you know, they interview the wrestlers and just do backstage stuff. And the first little part of the video is Paul London, and you can see the clip. So I'll talk about the spot, but you can go watch it in the description. So there's a crazy spot. So London was laying down on the apron, and Davey Richards went up for a top rope foot stomp, and he landed right on Paul London's head. It was so crazy. It was like, he fucking killed him, like, right there. He landed straight on his head. Like, I don't know what the fuck he was aiming for, but he over-jumped it like a motherfucker. It was, you know, usually you land on the chest, the abdomen, but he fucking just crushed Paul London's head in. London actually got a concussion during that. Of course, fucking poor guy got his head bashed in, but he was able to finish the match, so big ups to him. He went for a shooting star press even after getting his head bashed in, And that's how they won. He went for a shooting star press. Davey countered, rolled him up. 1, 2, 3. So big ups to Paul London. It was a good match. Good to see him back in Ring of Honor. Hope to see him back again. He was actually supposed to wrestle some matches on the TV show, but with his concussion, he wasn't able to wrestle. He was supposed to wrestle Michael Elgin. That would have been an awesome match, but that's okay. Hopefully one day, but definitely go check out that spot. Crazy. I don't know how it didn't suffer a more serious injury. Like, it's fucking crazy. In the main event, Jay Briscoe versus Adam Cole for the world title. Good match. Briscoe wins. Near the end, Steve Corino came out with a scum shirt, tried to get Adam Cole to join. It seemed like he was going to join, but Nigel McGuinness stopped Steve Corino and then hit him with the Tower of London, which was pretty awesome to see. And that was it. Jay Briscoe pinned Adam Cole. Adam Cole looked a little pissed, like he was going to turn heel, but he didn't do it, so maybe in the future. There's a lot of rumors that he's going to WWE, but I don't know yet. So, anyways, Ring of Honor, Border Wars, solid pay-per-view. It was in my backyard, Toronto, but I didn't get to go, which is a shame. I wanted to go last year so fucking bad, and we couldn't go, and I don't know, I didn't have any interest to go this year. I should have, though, to see Paul London get his fucking head bashed in. Maybe if I went, it wouldn't have happened. I don't know. But yeah, it was a pretty awesome pay-per-view. Pretty good. I wouldn't say awesome, but it was a solid show. And if you want to watch, you can go to Ring of Honor's website, and you can order it for $15. So, what are you going to spend $15 on? You going to buy Joker's Wild Card, or you going to buy Border Wars? If I had $15, or if you're saying to me, hey gangster, I got $15, should I get Joker's Wild Card or Border Wars? Definitely go with Border Wars. Joker's whatever, suck dick. It's awful. Next you got Raw. This is the Raw that happened like 2 weeks ago. So like I said before, I'm not gonna go through it fully. I'm just gonna go through a few things. Okay, it started with John Cena and Ryback. Ryback revealed the stipulation they're gonna have a last man standing match at Extreme Rules. We had Randy Orton versus Damien Sandow. Pretty good match. Orton wins, and before the match, it seems like they're having Damien Sandow kind of steal my gimmick. So Damien Sandow came out. He did a great rendition of Orton's theme before the match. It was great. You should watch it. I'll try and find the clip and link it in the description as well. But if you have not seen Damien Sandow sing Orton's theme, he didn't sing it, directly, like word for word. He kind of he took the beat and then kind of he ad-libbed it, like, Randy goes to the top, he does his pose, he looks the same, dun 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 dun. It was great. I'll link it in the description. Go check it out. It's funny as shit. What else do we got? Paul Heyman, Brock Lesnar stormed WWE headquarters looking for Triple H. Couldn't find him. They found his office though, and they destroyed it. It looked pretty fun. It looked like Lesnar had a great time. Took a sledgehammer, broke some laptops, bashed in a world title. It was fucking awesome. Yeah, that was cool to see. And then Triple H came out and then said he's gonna beat Lesnar's ass. What else do we got? Was it here? I think it was here. The fucking Oh no, it was on SmackDown. I'll save it for SmackDown. It was the Khali segment I wanted to talk about. The main event was Ryback versus Kane. Pretty good match. Ryback wins. After the match, Shield comes out. Daniel Bryan comes out. Ryback backs out. Left the ring. Cena came out. Huge brawl breaks out. And Ryback ended up taking John Cena. Taking him out. Next we got NXT. Well, besides, the main event, Wyatt Family versus Bo Dallas and Adrian Neville for the NXT tag team titles. It was a good match. Wyatt Family wins and is the new tag team champions. That's cool to see. What else? Cassius Ohno turning face. So what happened was he had a match with Camacho. Pretty good match. Ohno wins. After the match, he was like, Regal, I think he was going to apologize. He was going to say something to Regal. It seemed like he was going to apologize. He immediately getting ambushed by Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family. Took him out. And, could we see Cassius as a heel? Or, a face? Maybe some tag team action? Regal, Cassius taking on the Wyatt family? That'd be a cool-ass match. I'd love to see that. So, anyways, solid main event. Wyatt family versus Bo Dallas and Adrian Neville, new tag team champions. Next, we got Impact. This was the Impact where Abyss returned. We're not going to talk about that yet. Where do we want to start? Oh, one thing to talk about, the infamous crotch spot. So, during the match, Christy Hemme introduced, it was a match between Bad Influence versus Rhodes and Aries. And Rhodes and Aries were coming out, but Christy Hemme thought it was Bad Influence, so she announced Christopher Daniels and Kazarian. So Aries and Rhodes, they go to the ring. Aries backs her up into a corner, and he's like, you know, do we look like Daniels and Kazarian, all this shit? And then she announces him correctly, and then he goes to the top rope, poses in front of her, and her face just ended up to be in her crotch. It was awesome. It was a dick thing to do, but it was definitely something he would have done, like the Austin Aries character would have done. It was a perfect moment. You know, it might have not been too nice for Christy Hemme, but it's wrestling. It's all entertainment. So, but that was kind of disrespectful, but I don't know. It was funny as shit, though. And apparently he got fined or something. I don't know. I think he got fined. I don't remember reading it. But yeah, that was whatever. What else? Oh, so they had a good match. No one wins after James Storm super kicks Aries and Daniels. It seems like they're integrating James Storm into this feud, and it's kind of random. Like, one moment he's kind of doing his thing with AJ Styles, and now he's like getting involved with Rhodes and Aries and Bad Influence and all this shit. So they just can't make up their mind with what they want to see with James Storm, but whatever. Next we got Kenny King comes out, brings out Chris Sabin. Chris Sabin comes out, and they pretty much just build for their match next week. Now, I would like to see a one-on-one match, but, you know, with TNA with its stupid shit, it has to be a three-way, and Petey Williams is going to get involved. Not that I don't like Petey, I would like to let them tell the story. One-on-one match. Chris Sabin, you know, former X Division superstar, legend in the X Division. Kenny King, kind of the new guy, and you know, just do their own thing. And I really liked Kenny King. I wish they would do this more with him, because you know he is the X Division champion, and they really did it more with Aries instead of Kenny King, where Aries would come out, cut promos, say fuck you, or not fuck you, but like screw you, I'm the best, blah 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 blah. I wish Kenny King would do that more often, just kind of, you know, build up the X Division, because you would, majority of the time, you forget who that X Division champion is, because he's not really represented as a champion. He's not treated like a champion, like a Bully Ray, you know, where he comes out whenever he wants to cut a promo. Tag team champions, they don't really do it that much, but, you know, whatever. I'd like the X Division champion to be more, what's the word I'm looking for? More prominent, instead of just kind of taking the backseat to everything. So I wish they'd do more with Kenny King, cut promos and stuff. But anyways, the main event was Kurt Angle and Sting in a handicap match versus Aces and Eights. Pretty good match. Angle and Sting win. So near the end of the match, Abyss returned and took out all the Aces and Eights. And in my opinion, this is a terrible return. Like, he just came out. Like, the lights didn't flicker, the lights didn't go off, nothing. He just came, his music hit, he came out. And I didn't even know at first it was him, because they had this shitty music, the dum, 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 like the cheap knockoff Undertaker music. Well, it's not even like Undertaker, it's way worse, but it's just a shitty fucking theme. It's just a loud, annoying-ass bell. I wish they had the 2005, 2006 theme music for Abyss. Dun 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 dun. Have that music. Have the lights go red and black. Fucking, I don't know. It just seemed like they didn't give a shit about Abyss returning. Like, I wish it was more, just more, not hyped up, but like, just better done. Like, honestly, like, it seemed so shitty. Like, he just came out like he hasn't been in action for a year. You know, he just came out like just a regular Joe Schmo, and just, I thought it was fucking awful, but it's good to see Abyss back. I've been waiting for him to come back ever since they bashed Joseph Park's head in with a hammer. I think it would have been a perfect time for him to fucking come back, and you know, I don't know what they're gonna do with this whole Joseph Park thing where he like bleeds and then he kind of acts like Abyss. I don't know where that's gonna lead to, so we'll just have to wait and see with that. But cool to see Abyss back, you know, having him, AJ, Saban back, you know. Who else are they gonna bring back from the past? That's awesome. So yeah, that was whatever. Abyss's return, just not as good as it should have been. Next you got Smackdown. It starts out with the highlight reel with Ryback and Jericho. Nothing really to talk about. What do we got? Oh, Swagger versus Biggie Langston. So they had a match. But before the match, Del Rio, you know, he threw a ladder into the match, and Del Rio, or Swagger, and Ziggler went for it. And Swagger ended up kicking Ziggler in the head and giving him a concussion. So that's the second person injured. Not only is Cena injured, who is the WWE champion with an injured, I think it's an Achilles injury, I'm not sure. But now your world champion has a fucking concussion. Fucking amazing. Jack Swagger on fire. First the weed thing and before WrestleMania, and you know, now he's injuring the world champion. Not a solid couple months for Jack Swagger. But yeah, that really sucked for Ziggler. You could just see him get kicked in the head, and you just didn't know where he was, and it was terrible. What else do we got? Dean Ambrose versus Daniel Bryan. They went one-on-one. It was a good match. No one won after the Shield interferes. Next, they had Mark Henry set a record. I don't know if it was a record or if it was real or fake, whatever, but they had him pull 2 tractor trailers at the same time. That was pretty nuts. You could just see him just fall apart after it was done. It was crazy. Next, the Kali thing. I finally want to try to talk about it at Raw, but it didn't fucking happen there. So basically, they're having Natalya and Caitlyn, you know, the whole Secret Admirer thing. Natalya keeps bringing Kali, like, oh, you have such great advice, blah, blah, blah. And Caitlyn's like, oh, you should send Kali undercover so he can figure out who it is. So, you know, Caitlyn and Natalya are talking, and fucking Kali appears in a Rey Mysterio mask. And he's like, booyaka, booyaka. And he was like, it's okay. It's just so funny the way, because his English is fucking terrible. And he's like, to Natalya, he's like, oh, you thought it was Rey Mysterio, but it's not, it's just me. It's the fuck. I laughed my ass off, but it's just a funny little moment. Meh. It's not that funny as I explain it, but it's like, you gotta kind of watch it thing, and you'll find it funny. Hopefully, I don't know. So yeah, that was that main event. Ryback, Jericho, good match. Jericho wins by countout. Next, we got Ring of Honor. We had Carl Anderson versus Michael Elgin. Good match. Carl Anderson won. And the main event was Davey Richards versus Kyle O'Reilly. Really good match. Davey wins. Crazy spot in the match. O'Reilly. So they were fighting. O'Reilly was on the apron on one side, near like where you can get out. And Davey was in the ring, and Kyle O'Reilly picked him up, hit him with the brainbuster. So he went from in the ring to all the way to the ground. Hit him with a brainbuster. It was fucking nuts. Like, holy shit. And they had a really good back and forth match. 2 solid matches on the show. You had the Carl Anderson, Michael Elgin match. That went a good like 10-15 minutes. And then you had the main event go like a 15, 17, 18, 20 minutes. So you had some solid wrestling on the show. You had a female match too, but it ended by DQ like in 2 minutes. So that was just kind of whatever. But I definitely recommend watching that Ring of Honor show. Solid wrestling. And if you don't know how to watch Ring of Honor, what you want to do is you want to go to ROHWrestling.com, sign up for a free account, and you can watch the show there every Thursday. Solid hour of wrestling. Go watch that show with Davey Richards, Kyle O'Reilly as the main event. So that's it for wrestling reviews. Next we got news. We got some news in the news section, of course. What do we want to start? It's just a lot of stuff. Let's talk about all the injuries. So John Cena out with an Achilles injury. He's not out, but you know he can't. Well, he's trying his best to wrestle as long as he can. Dolph Ziggler, I don't think he's going to be able to wrestle at Extreme Rules. I haven't watched it yet, so I don't know about that. What else? James Storm was injured. Who else was injured? The Rock, you know, he's injured from WrestleMania where he had a hernia, and I just recently found out like what a hernia is. It's a sac that holds your intestines, and basically that sac breaks, and your intestines just fall from the sac, and they gotta go repair the sac and put your intestines back in, and that's what happened to him, and that was fucking disgusting when I learned about it. So, you know, Rock is doing better. You know, that's, you know, there's still some skepticism if he's going to come back. Because, you know, when he came back to WWE and wrestled WrestleMania this year, he got injured. And then, you know, he was doing his movies. He couldn't promote him because he was injured. So, WWE still wants him to come back. I don't know if they want him to come back full time, but they at least want him to come back for WrestleMania. They want him to wrestle Brock Lesnar, which would be whatever. So we'll have to wait and see, but I don't think it's very likely. Actually, I think if he'll probably come back, and that'll probably be his final run in WWE. Wrestle Lesnar, and that's it. And then I think he's just gonna stick with movies and stuff. There's some rumors that he might be appearing as Luke Cage in some Marvel movies. So Marvel, you know, they're doing a bunch of movies. They want to set all their properties up with movies and stuff. And Batista, he's going to play someone in Guardians of the Galaxy. You know, rumored Rock is to play Luke Cage, which would be pretty awesome. So, yeah, he's a big movie star. He's doing a bunch of Fast and the Furious movies, which was whatever. Pain and Gain. He was supposed to be in Transformers, but he turned that down. So, he's a successful fucking movie maker. Like, all his movies are hits. Most of them, except the Tooth Fairy one. So, that's that. Another person that's injured is Undertaker. So, you know, he's older, so, you know, he's got to be more careful about what he does. And, you know, he comes in once a year, wrestles his WrestleMania match, and then, you know, goes away for 10 months or whatever. But, with all these people injured, Ziggler injured, Cena injured, you know, Christian's injured, he's supposed to come back, Rey Mysterio's injured, Kara's injured, CM Punk is taking a break, because he's, you know, busted his ass, and Undertaker was supposed to wrestle at Extreme Rules, but, you know, they decided to hold off to WrestleMania, where the rumored match was Undertaker and Kane returning to take on the Shield, which would be pretty awesome. But yeah, he's doing well. He's gonna have surgery on his hip and shoulder, I believe, and he's gonna be wrestling at WrestleMania 30. That's the rumor going around, which would be pretty awesome. And yeah, those are all the injured people and stuff like that. Oh, one thing I want to talk about. So, you know, I linked a bunch of videos. I linked the, what videos? The Paul London thing. What was the other video I was going to link? Shit, I don't even remember now. Hopefully I remember so I can link it. Shit, what was that other video? I don't remember. I'll try and find it. I'll probably remember later, but, there's another video I want to link. So, I watch the JBL and Cole show occasionally, and I watched the one that came out May 3rd, and I know it's a while, but if you have not seen this video, it's great. So they've been doing this talent show on the JBL and Michael Cole show, and you know, you got Damien Sandow, Justin Gabriel, Yoshitatsu, Daniel Bryan, and Daniel Bryan, he was fucking amazing this episode as the Dazzler. And him and Ninja Regal and the Masters of Iron, and I don't need to say anymore. Go check out the video. It's pretty fucking hilarious. And go watch Ninja Regal and Master Bryan. Just go watch the video. It's fucking hilarious. That'll be in the description as well as well as the Paul London thing and the other video that I don't remember that I said I was gonna link. So. What else? Some other wrestling news. Chael Sonnen, MMA fighter, says he wants to buy WWE, and you know, this guy just wants attention. Like that's what he does. That's how he got his shot at Anderson Silva. Was it Anderson Silva? whoever he fought, no, John Jones, John Bone Jones, because I remember John's toe was like sticking out of his foot. He just wants the spotlight. Like I've listened to interviews with him, and he's a very arrogant person and likes attention, and this was just an attention thing because, you know, he lost his match against John Jones, and, you know, people just don't give a shit about him anymore, so to keep his name in the limelight, I'm gonna buy WWE, and whatever. But technically he can't buy it. Even Triple H said, you know, he can buy some stock, that's about it, but he can't actually buy the company. What else? Jay Briscoe doing a bad publicity move for Ring of Honor, especially being the world champion. He tweeted out he lives in Delaware, and the Delaware State Senate passed a bill allowing gay couples to get married. And he said, there's a quote, because this is from his Twitter, "If that makes you happy, then congratulations. Try and teach my kids that there's nothing wrong with that, and I'll fucking shoot you." Very homophobic and ignorant fucking tweet from him. He ended up deleting his Twitter altogether, and there was actually rumors that you know, WWE was interested in him and bringing in him and his brother, but that's probably not the case anymore, especially WWE. You know, there's a lot of people that have said stuff like that, like making remarks like that and, you know, getting in trouble. So, yeah, they're probably not looking at him anymore, and, you know, Ring of Honor had to go in damage control and just pretty much say, you know, that's his view and opinion, doesn't represent Ring of Honor, blah, 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 even though he's our world champion and represents our company, whatever. And then he had to go in damage control and said, he apologized, said he's going to donate his paychecks and whatever. It's just, I don't know. That's why Twitter can be dangerous, because, you know, people who don't really have a filter can just say whatever the fuck they want and then get in trouble and say stupid shit like that. So it was really ignorant, and I know he's like from the South and stuff like that, and gay couples are not really accepted down there. It's more old school, where it's man and female and segregation, stuff like that. It was very ignorant, and hopefully he learned his lesson. Next, so a little bit earlier than they usually do this, but WWE has announced that Paul Bearer will be the first inductee to the 2014 Hall of Fame. So there's some speculation that Undertaker will break his character and induct Paul Bearer, which I think would be an awesome moment. And there's really no surprise with him being inducted, but it sucks that his death kind of had to spark interest in him being inducted, so that's a shame. But, you know, it's cool that his legacy will be cemented forever in WWE history, and he's recognized for his talents and what he brought to WWE, so that's awesome. What else do we got? Okay, big updates on Saturday Morning Slam. Is it coming to an end? Possibly. So the network CW has not ordered any more episodes as of yet. This is all the news articles up till like what, May 11th. So I'm like 2 weeks behind. So they could have, Saturday Morning Slam could be back, but as of right now it's on a hiatus, and WWE will be approaching them and, you know, trying to work out a deal for another season. But until then, Saturday Morning Slam is non-existent. So for all you people that enjoy that, it's more of a kiddie show, and I don't know if any of you watch and enjoy that, but I watched the first episode. It was whatever. So that's just me. And last but not least, YouTube. Lots of changes with YouTube. Adding a paid service program on YouTube. So what YouTube did in Google, whatever, so certain channels on YouTube now have paid content, which is, it's a good and a bad thing. You know, YouTube charging to watch videos, whatever. I don't think, you know, there's some people that put like a lot of effort in their videos, for like a Freddie W who goes all out and like edits he just makes some amazing videos. I could see people paying for that, but YouTube is just generally a free site, so to charge people to watch certain things, like, it's kind of bullshit, you know? Like, no one, I don't know if it's going to take over all of YouTube, it probably will eventually, but, you know, who's going to pay to watch someone play a game? Like, in all honesty, that's what I do. That's what majority of YouTubers, at least the gaming community in YouTube is very big, and, you know, no one's going to pay to, well, there might be some people, but, you know, if no one, I don't expect anyone to pay to watch me. Like, I just think it's a stupid idea. YouTube should stay free and just whatever. But anyways, WWE is not going to be doing that. TNA is going to be doing that. So if you want to go watch a bunch of their old pay-per-views and DVDs and stuff like that, you can you have a subscription fee. It's $5 a month. And there's a 14-day trial, so you can go watch all the pay-per-views. I don't think you're gonna get access to everything, but go ahead and try your free 14-day trial. And I think the site you go to, or the YouTube channel, is TNA Wrestling Plus, and that's where they have everything. And, you know, it's kind of cool, I guess. But you know, $5 a month, and then say that's $60 a year. Like, are you gonna pay $60 a year to watch all these TNA shit? You know, I don't know. I just think it's kind of ridiculous. And well, it's good for. I don't know how I feel about this, to be honest, but it's just whatever, to be honest. Like, some people are gonna pay for it, you know, to watch all the historic TNA events and stuff like that. It'd be cool to watch like some of the older stuff, like 2002, like 2004, where they pretty much are the only ones that have the footage. Like, they weren't doing pay-per-views and stuff at that time, so it'd be cool to go watch stuff like that. WWE did not end up doing this. They ended up signing a deal with Yahoo, and they're gonna have a video stuff with them, and I think that's a dumb move on their part. They should have just, because they are one of the biggest partners on YouTube. Like, WWE is one of the most successful partners. They make lots of videos, make a lot of money off views and ads and shit like that. So I think it's dumb that they didn't sign with YouTube and they signed with Yahoo, and Yahoo doesn't really do anything like this. So it was just kind of stupid on their point, or stupid on their part. But, you know, whatever, it's a business decision. They're obviously better business people than I am, because look at how successful they are and look at how successful I am. So maybe they made the right decision. So that's that. So that's it for the weekly wrestling review. It was probably one of the longest weekly wrestling reviews I've ever done. But like I said, there was a lot to talk about. 2 weeks worth, and then I'm going to try and get the next one out ASAP. So hopefully you stuck around, listened to everything, and hope you guys enjoyed this long review. And I'll try and catch you guys next time, where we got reviews for Raw, SmackDown, Impact, NXT, Ring of Honor, some more wrestling news. We're probably not going to do predictions for Extreme Rules, because the pay-per-view's been done with for almost a week now, so we'll probably skip out on prediction. Maybe I might do predictions. We'll see. Probably not, though, so that's that. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Catch us next time. Until then, guys, peace out.